We don't really know much about Dwight, do we? The worst part of The Office. Looking back, of course. Here he is, Dwight. Rainn Wilson is a very bad person. Almost psychotically.
Where it's like, he's just so deep.
What did you do that was so bad? Are you going to tell us in the book, Soul Boom? Are you going to tell us the disgusting, sick shit you did to women? What did you do that's making life so painful as Dwight from The Office?
They want to own that plane. They do not give a shit about.
Bill, when you have a podcast, you need to ask your guests some questions and let them talk every once in a fucking while.
Whoa! Stand up! Should we watch some Club Rando? Yes. Club Rando Malay. Club Rando Bill Maher. Rainn Wilson. This time, I didn't think I had any interest in Rainn Wilson.
Nor did I.
That's the best part about Club Random is you never know what you're going to get. It could be like Richard Dreyfuss. We didn't think there'd be anything good
like
there,
you see
right?
the
That
thumbnail
seems like,
and you're like, okay,
great.
whatever.
Right? They're the worst thumbnails. You think this is going to suck. This is going to blow. I don't want to hear from Rainn Wilson. Well, turned out to be incredible. Rainn Wilson is a very bad person. Almost psychotically bad. He almost is like a psycho, like a... Like, I imagine him living on a farm, conning a family to come stay at the farmhouse and then killing them. Yes. Right? He's a psycho. He is like the guy from Based on a True Story, Zach. Is that his name?
I don't know their names.
He is like, you know who he's like? He's like, what was that movie called? Freak? Psycho?
Creep 2.
Creep 2. Did you see Creep 2? He's like that kind of guy. Like, he's going to do something bad. Let's take a look. It's from Club Random, Bill Maher Show. It's going great. Every episode is good, even when the guest is bad.
You're comfortable?
I'm very comfortable.
See, I didn't even let you get up all the way.
Yeah. Well, it's
how comfortable
I'm a little.
I want you to be.
I'm kind of ungainly. In all honesty, like I've noticed, I've started grunting when I like tie my shoes and get up because I've officially hit my late 50s. You know that you do that. I do that kind of grandpa thing. That kind of like.
Well, I'll get to that in a minute. You really don't have to be that way because I'm older than you and I'm not that way at all.
You're not?
No, fuck no. But you're married.
Yeah, that's what it is.
It's your typical Club Random opening. Everything seems fine, right? We don't really know much about Dwight, do we? The worst part of The Office. Looking back, of course. Here he is, Dwight. Do people like him? Do people know about him? Has he done anything offensive?
Like
politically, has he fucked around?
Why do I feel like we talked about him?
I feel like he did have, there was some incident with him once, right? There had to be.
Does anyone know his main scandals?
He's a real phony baloney. I could see why he gets very little work now after The Office is shut down. He gets gigs here and there. They don't seem to last. I think people get excited to work with him, thinking Dwight.
Of course.
Right? They love The Office, good memories there. And then once they start working with him, they kind of want it to end. They want to wrap up the relationship and get him out of here. Because he's kind of a complete psycho. So we're going to see that today.
Seems like he's pretty much a hippie douche, but like he's almost like a type of guy that's passed us by in like 2012, but he's still around doing that.
Yeah. Very TV-like character. A character where you're supposed to know he's like a douche. He's over the top. He's a little too extreme with his little ways. Right? A little too precious. Very strange. Okay, where should we start?
You can start at 1 minute. There was just a little Rainn-ism.
Okay, 1 minute in. Here we go.
But how old are you?
57.
What about liquor?
I'm sober.
Oh, then you're completely fucked.
I had a bad dope trip in my 20s. I don't know.
All right, so he's, as I just put out the Shmisha.
He's basically a Redditor personified.
Yeah, he could be.
Like, everything's wrong with everybody else. Nothing's wrong with him because he's so spiritual. Yeah. He's had his hard times, but he's learning.
Yeah,
He's going to do add-ons to every story.
Yep. He's a little Denny E. So he's going to tell us why, and this is always a big red flag for me when somebody is offered some weed and they don't want to do it. So they tell you this wild story, right? Why they can't smoke weed, okay? Which is something I don't believe. I just believe you're very nervous around yourself. You haven't really confronted all your little things. And if the weed is making it too crazy, well, those are things that I think you're trying to hide away. You know, the weed should make you feel great. You should have a fun time with it.
But if not, you just say, thank you, I don't smoke.
But he's got an excuse, and I could see he's used this, I don't smoke weed excuse here many times. And he's worked on this story, and he thinks if the story's good enough, he'll have a grand excuse as to why he's such a pussy, right? And he can't smoke the weed. Let's hear his why I can't smoke weed story.
Completely fucked.
I had a bad dope trip.
Dope.
In my 20s. I don't know if it was laced with something, but I was going through a really bad time and I decided to wake and bake on Christmas morning.
Laced. So they learned this term from the movie Friday. My whole existence, I was wishing for something to be laced. Nothing is ever laced. Nobody's giving you extra for free. No one's lacing shit. Any kid who told you it was laced was a liar. He just got a little high. He don't know laced. Laced with what? It was laced, man, because I got messed up. So it must have been laced. Nothing is laced. With what, angel dust? Is that what it was laced with? Nothing's fucking laced. Nobody's lacing you up. Let's trick Dwight from The Office into going nuts. Let's lace it. Nobody's lacing. It's very illegal, by the way. Okay, so he was smoking laced up dope.
Really bad time, and I decided to wake and bake on Christmas morning.
Wake and bake. He decided to wake and bake. This is a guy who doesn't smoke weed. I decided to wake and bake on Christmas morning. You never touch the stuff, have you? There's no wake and bake, okay? Is that like extreme? Does this make the excuse that you don't smoke now better? See how he adds little things in there? He's an editor. He's a writer. It was a wake and bake, laced dope, wake and bake. You didn't smoke that same weed the night before. You woke up to brand new weed? That's interesting. A wake and bake. You would think you were been smoking that same bag last night. Was it laced last night when you smoked it? Or are you freshly opening this brand new weed this morning? If you got the weed last night, nobody gets weed and then goes, I'm saving this for the morning. You smoke it now. The minute you get a new bag of weed. So you're telling me this laced weed, you bought it and then put it aside for the morning, for right when you're waking up? Interesting story. Got my eye on this story.
I'm sober.
Oh, then you're completely fucked.
I had a bad dope trip in my 20s. I don't know if it was laced with something, but I was going through a really bad time and I decided to wake and bake on Christmas morning while living in an abandoned beer brewery in Brooklyn.
Really?
Like a squatter. And I had a super bad trip. I started shaking. I was sweating. My muscles were like contracting in my arms. My heart was racing.
What year is this?
90.
Okay.
91?
Yes.
Time out.
And then we are not done yet.
Come on, Bill.
It happened in the 90s.
Yeah?
So it was a fluke.
But I'm not done with my story.
Oh, sorry.
Because then I saw the face of God. And then I swore to the face of God that I would never smoke dope again.
Boo! Lock him up.
Well,
So did you see this add-on? So this story wasn't good enough for Bill. Usually that's all you got to say, and it tricks people. The wake and bake Christmas morning in the abandoned warehouse. Yeah, man, I was tripping in the abandoned warehouse. So obviously I can't smoke weed anymore. You get it right. Everyone accepts. Not Bill. Bill's going to always throw that wrench into things when you least expect it. You know, he's told this story a million times. Everybody swallowed it up. They don't even give a fuck what he's saying. Not Bill. That was the 90s. It was a fluke. And I know what he means. It was a fluke that he had a trip and it was a bad trip. That was just a fluke. I love that. That's so, he's got a kid in him, man. Bill Maher's got a boyish fucking kid in him.
Oh, I love him.
Oh, come on. That was the 90s. It was a fluke. Oh. He doesn't even need to listen. See, Bill's good at this. So then Dwight, And that's all you fucking are. You are Dwight. And Dwight was a fucking disgusting character. There are a lot of disgusting people on that show. A lot. And Michael Scott wasn't one of them. But Dwight was. Jim. Can they make an edit? Edit him out. If you like that, that's borderline gay. So, yeah, you're just Dwight to me. And now you're going to do this add-on, okay.
Flu.
But I'm not done with my story.
Oh, sorry.
Because then I saw the face of God.
Oh.
And then I swore to the face of God that I would never smoke dope again.
What did he look like? What's this face look like?
It looked like, in all seriousness, it looked like a Mark Rothko painting. It looked like an abstract sunset, like over the Tahitian Ocean.
That's funny, because I always thought God would look like James Woods. Because he's also a prick, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, God's a prick, and in kind of the same way James Wood,
same way?
I mean, if you read
But James Wood was brilliant.
I don't want to listen to this whole James Wood shit if that's not right around the corner, though.
Let me find out.
And that's okay. I think, I don't think it's important. I thought that's what we were going to see, though. Okay, so
go to 755.
when's our first instance? 755, and what happens here?
So you'll see. It's better if I don't say.
All right, here it goes. This is where things start getting weird.
Yes.
Okay.
Of his work, and I hope you would agree with me. I don't know how indoctrinated you are. I hope not too much. That we don't have to share politics to be friends with people.
I agree 100%.
Oh, good.
1,000%.
Because I cannot stand the attitude of, if you don't agree with me, I unfriend you.
Remember the whole thing about, like, someone shook hands with George Bush?
Yes.
Jr. at the U.S. Open or something like that. And like, you shook hands with a war criminal.
It was Ellen.
Yeah.
You don't want to acknowledge that.
It was Ellen.
Why is that something we want to avoid? It was Ellen. It wasn't her fault.
It doesn't even matter who it was. The point is like...
You know who else is rather chummy with George Bush? I don't mean chummy like they... Hey, George, Michelle Obama.
Yeah, both the Obamas.
And you know who Ruth Bader Ginsburg was very close
Scalia.
Scalia. And
You're not going to stump me, Maher.
What?
You're not going to stump me.
Did you call me Mayor? Did you say I'm Bill Mayer?
Edit it to make it sound like I said Maher.
Wow, first you're late.
Oh, you called him Mayor. Look at this. So what were you doing there? You know his name isn't Bill Mayer. Why did you do that? And Bill doesn't like this. Watch this.
Did you call me Mayor? Did you say I'm Bill Mayer?
Edit it to make it sound like I said Maher.
Wow, first you're late and now you mispronounce my name.
Wow.
I still like you.
He was late,
but,
too.
You were great on Politically Incorrect.
Thanks. And you were great on your show. That ended a while ago, though.
Oh, did you hear that little diss there? So they're getting kind of mean with each other. They don't really like each other.
And this is only 7 minutes in. This
is 7 minutes in. Do you hear that little thing at the end?
And you were great on your show. That ended a while ago, though. Anyway, I have a show now. So,
how do I get
by the way, I know you hear this like...
Okay. Was there more here?
So then they start talking about a succession. They both disagree, and if they like the ending or not, pretty much everything they bring up, they're disagreeing on. You can go to 3130. Rainn starts talking about his book.
Ooh, Rainn's got a little book out, huh?
That's why he's here.
3130, most replayed. Here we go.
These episodes feature direct audio from ID's All-American True Crime shows. Swamp Murders,
Deadly.
Highway to Hell, and Southern Fried Homicide. You'll hear from investigators and family members close to these cases and learn about some shocking stories.
Wow.
Like how a bank president was found at the bottom of a swamp and what happened when a former prom teen went missing. You can also listen to all of Season 1 now. It's a lot of true crime and all available to listen to today. Listen to Hot and Deadly wherever you get your podcasts.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know, I think part of the problem is, and it's something I address in my book. We don't have to talk about.
No, we're here. I'm so sorry.
We're promoting things.
I wasn't gonna.
Soul Boom.
See, that's what I mean. He's like a Reddit.
Ooh, look at this.
No.
We're here. Hold on, look at the book.
I'm so sorry.
We're promoting things.
I wasn't.
Scholboom, Why We Need Spiritual Revolution by Rainn Wilson. I believe that's a grunge font. It's a mid-level menu font where it's got the, it looks like it's like a stencil, it's got like spray painted
See
on.
what I mean about how he's like stuck in like 2012?
Look at this asshole.
Nobody would attempt to
peddling Scholboom. God forbid anyone buys Scholboom.
I mean,
we got to get a copy of Scholboom now.
I know.
Okay, so he's here to promote Scholboom. Let's hear about it.
We don't have to talk about.
No. We're here. I'm so
We're
sorry.
promoting things.
I wasn't gonna forget it, although
It's got lots of God stuff in it. You're going to hate this book, Bill. I'm so glad you did.
Scholboom. I eat it for breakfast. Why we need a spiritual revolution? Well, I am going to crack this. I'm actually be very interested to read this. Wow. You really spent some time on this.
I did. I spent 3 years
you
writing
filled
that.
up all these blank pages.
Yeah, I wrote all of those words myself.
Did you know before you started that it was going to be 272?
I had no idea.
And yet it happened.
It happened.
I think that's the work of God. And when I say God, I mean James Wood. Okay, Scholboom. Why we need a spiritual revolution? So what kind of a book is this? This is not a novel.
No, it's a book on spirituality. It's right up your alley.
Well, but spirituality is such a vague term.
It is a vague term.
So you could define it in a way that I would completely embrace.
Yeah, well, I have a whole section on why I love and respect atheists in here, but
you are not one.
I'm not an atheist. I'm a full-blown theist, but I love atheists.
Is that because of that night with the pot and the God face?
No, it really isn't. It was a long, many years of search, and it came from a lot of personal pain and struggle and turmoil.
Okay, so he's been searching. He's had personal pain, turmoil. That's not good. A guy like this, dressed like this, is like a Chris Ryan situation.
Yes.
Christopher Ryan.
Exactly.
Hey,
where it's like he's just so deep.
What did you do that was so bad? Are you going to tell us in the book, Scholboom? Are you going to tell us the disgusting, sick shit you did to women? What did you do that's making life so painful, as Dwight from The Office?
It's a long, many years of search, and it came from a lot of personal pain and struggle and turmoil, where I really went on a kind of a spiritual quest in my 20s, where I was trying to figure out why the fuck I was so unhappy and
What's
conflicted.
the most painful thing that ever happened to you?
Yeah.
Brad, you sound like my therapist.
You have a therapist?
I've had a therapist for 21 years.
Isn't that proof it's not working?
I'm doing great.
It's amazing. Okay,
Hold on a second. Hold on a second.
Like,
eat your words. I am happy, content.
Really?
In a rich, fulfilling marriage.
Oh, great.
I'm doing incredible creative.
That marriage is suspect as fuck. Imagine this fucks marriage. I'd love some details. Are we going to get some Jonah Hill style tweets from you?
For sure.
You've done everything Jonah Hill has done, plus more. I hope.
The hat says all I need to know. When
that
puts
hat.
that hat on.
Really?
He's going out to make
The
trouble,
hat,
baby.
even this. I feel like you bought this shirt after you watched the gay episode of The Last of Us. Like you decided you were going to be like that guy. I bet you think you're going to live on a farm all alone too.
It's like after The Office was popular, he tried as hard as he possibly could to be not like Dwight.
Yeah.
To be super distinctive from Dwight and to be this like hipster.
I think he's
and then
very
he
lost.
got like crazy up his own ass in that phase and then never changed.
I think he's very lost. I think he's got some very dark secrets. Or if the secrets are dark, I mean, Bill asked you, he goes, well, what's all this pain about? What's the worst stuff? And you kind of avoided the question.
No answer.
So are you just peddling Scholboom without really going through any pain? Illegal, I say. Could that be it too? Could he be trying to peddle to a certain crowd here, Grift?
I think so.
Maybe he hasn't really gone. What kind of pain did you go through? I must know.
Second, eat your words. I am happy, content.
Really?
In a rich, fulfilling marriage.
Oh, great.
I'm doing incredible creative projects. I've got my life on track and a rich, deep perspective that he, for 50 minutes a week for 20 years at great expense. Sorry, Hollywood.
Wait, so how many? 15 minutes a week for 20 years? He's been doing this? Is that what he just said?
I think
50 minutes a week
50?
for 20 years at great expense.
50
Sorry,
minutes.
Hollywood. He has helped me on this path.
Okay.
So it's absolutely worth the money.
Okay.
Wow.
So
I have a New York
First of
Times
all-
best-selling book. I have a
Right. I
successful
heard that
show
book
on Peacock.
Oh, yeah.
And
we're gonna plug that.
you need a
too.
cough drop?
Bill,
Do you need a Heimlich? Do you need a hand
Bill
job?
rules now.
I know he's the
Well,
fucking
He's going to
man.
be interviewing Dr. Peterson.
Wait.
Ooh, I
We should
cannot
make
wait
some
for
bets
that.
on how that's going to go.
Yeah, maybe we should do something special for the big Peterson Bill Maher release.
Like, is Bill
When does that come out? Sunday?
Usually Sunday.
Sundays.
Or early Monday.
So yeah, they posted a picture, a nice promo pic of the good doctor and Bill, and they both had this smile on their face,
And I'm
like,
praying it's not like a banked episode and there's going to be another guest on Monday because he always films a million in one day. So we cross our fingers it's on
Yeah.
Sunday.
I can't wait to see what they come up with.
But do you think, though, that Bill is going to like eat up everything that Jordan Peterson
I don't
says?
know.
Or do you think he's going to be abrasive?
I don't know. I mean, you really, Bill Maher's so unpredictable.
I know, I just can't
which is
wait.
weird because he's a political guy. You would think he was just going to side with whatever libs side with, but no. He doesn't. It's almost like he has zero information, so all his takes are like organic. Like all his takes are you've never heard him before. They're fresh.
Can't fucking wait to see.
He's got fresh takes. They're always cockamamie, but he's got fresh takes. You never know what he's going to do.
And nobody really goes, oh, please, to Jordan Peterson.
Exactly.
Either they yell at him and hate him or they eat it all up. They don't go,
No, it could be great. I'm really looking forward to that. You know, speaking of the Petersons, Michaela has been reinvestigated for the photo of her and Tate. Remember that?
yes.
This is how we met Tate.
well,
Michaela Peterson posted the photo of her and Tate. Remember Tate sitting there like this at the hookah bar in Romania?
oh, the best.
And this photo was so famous. This is why we got in touch with Tate, and we interviewed Tate about what he was doing with Michaela. He said, oh, Michaela's coming out for business. We made fun of Michaela. He kind of knew. Remember, didn't I say something like, Michaela's not that height. You thought maybe, but then you're like, I can't touch that, right? And he's like, kind of. Right? Didn't we share a moment where we made fun of Michaela's looks?
I kind of remember.
I go, she was all
I could be
greasy. She comes off the airplane, straight to Romania, straight to the hookah bar. She's all she didn't even freshen up in the
Her
bathroom.
hair was crazy.
Right off the airplane. So I guess Jordan Peterson went after Tate. He said something disparaging about
Well,
Tate, right?
Tucker interviewed Tate, and then a lot of like conservative women types on Twitter started going, "Oh, Tate's actually a pimp. He's actually a horrible
Yeah.
guy. Conservatives shouldn't look up to him." And so
Tucker
that-
couldn't have possibly known any of that, though.
That discourse kind of went viral,
Yeah.
and then Jordan Peterson retweeted it and was like,
a pimp is the lowest person you could be.
exactly, something like that.
And
So
basically
then-
said Tate is the lowest of the low. And that sparked everyone going, oh, yeah? And then a million pictures of Michaela and Tate.
Yes.
And people looking into why Michaela Peterson needed to learn business advice from Tate, whose business is sex trafficking, apparently. So, yes, this is everything I hoped for. Remember, I'm like, we got to reopen this case. And they did. So they've been digging and digging.
It was
There's some
great.
bonus pictures, too. But what was she really doing there?
I would just die.
What business
now,
do you need with Tate? We've seen all of Tate's businesses now.
I'm more interested than ever to know what she was doing there.
Yeah. And what lessons did she take home from Romania? Does Jordan even know?
I know.
How did he miss
He
that?
could have totally forgotten that happened.
Very cool. Hopefully that comes up on this episode. Okay, do we keep playing from here?
Yeah, so they do, are you at 3930?
34:16. You want me to go to 39:30?
You could go to 3520.
35:20. Okay, what's happening here?
So this whole next kind of 10 minutes or so is just them. So Bill, well, he'll play this part for a second. And then
So I hear from what I read that therapists are not just for completely crazy people anymore. Is there any truth to that? Because when I hear therapists, I think, oh, you're nuts. So you have to go to this doctor to fix.
Well, I am nuts, and I've had a lot of struggles, and I've had a lot of, I've had a lot of really dark times. You asked me what the darkest.
A lot of dark times, a lot of struggles. I am nuts. I mean, he's admitting he's a killer. What dark time? I must know. Are they in this book? Is Soul Boom out? Get a copy of Soul Boom. Get an e-copy. We got to find out what dark secrets. Does anybody have a copy of Soul Boom at home?
Struggles, and I've had a lot of, I've had a lot of really dark times. You asked me what the darkest time is. I'm not going to get really specific.
What's the bad shit, man?
Yeah,
I'm not going to go.
Do you hear Bill? Bill's turning cool.
What's the
bad shit, man?
I would die to hang out with
mocking
him.
his tragedy. And look at what Rainn Wilson. And what kind of this? You can't be named Rainn. Sorry.
Is that even your real name?
The way he holds himself here.
And get really specific.
What's the bad shit, man?
Well, I'm not gonna go completely there, but I will say that I had many sleepless nights.
Wait, what did he just say?
He was gonna say, "Did someone touch you?" And then he changed his mind.
No. Oh, he gave up.
But I will say that I had many sleepless nights.
Sleepless nights.
With addiction issues, and suicidal ideation.
Woo! Suicidal ideation. What does that mean? When you idolize suicide?
I mean, isn't that just when you think about committing once in a while?
So you were thinking about committing. You were going to commit. You were going to do the cry and die. He looks like a guy who'd do the cry and die.
To me, suicidal ideation just means like you are thinking about ways you could do it if you had to.
What kind of thoughts are those, Kanye?
You know what I mean? Isn't that normal?
Not for me. So he's thinking about suicide. He's thinking about killing himself, killing others.
I mean, it's not something you really have to dwell on.
Addiction issues and suicidal ideation and anxiety attacks that would render me shaking on the floor.
Shaking on the floor.
Depressive episodes.
All before The Office.
This was all before The Office. Right. I had some bad times during The Office, too.
I bet you not as bad.
Not as bad.
Right. Because, I feel like I went through the same thing, which was, when I was...
Bitch-ass Dwight was shaking on the floor, crying, having episodes. That, to me, is non-forgivable. Sorry, bro. I'm so sick of these people having fucking episodes. It's not allowed. Grow up. Yes, and it happened during The Office. Did anyone else see that? Did Jim see that? Did Creed see that?
I hope Creed.
Poor Creed. Creed's probably scared out of his mind. That's why he had no lines. He couldn't talk. He was so scared of Dwight.
Was a failing loser. Life sucked, and I felt sucky about it. No. And then when I was doing better and
that's
success,
not true.
No,
that's absolutely
success
not true.
Came your way.
I was not a failing loser. I was a struggling actor. And
that's a failing loser. And then you get.
Yes, there you go. I was not a failing loser. I was a struggling actor. Well, that's a failing loser. Yes, thank you. Is there anything more pathetic than an actor of any kind? I mean, if they only knew how stupid they're doing, or how stupid they're being by being actors. Really. It's a failure's gig, I think. That's why I, whenever I have a skit to do on the show, I do very poor acting. Okay? If you're good at acting, you're a bad guy that needs to be, people need to beware of.
And a struggling actor is not failing loser. I was getting acting work. I was living in New York. I was a theater actor.
Show business is a hit or miss league, babe. Hit or miss. You know what? If you make or miss. I'm sorry, that's the term the NBA uses. It's a make or miss league, show business. If you are, you want to call it working or starting.
I like how no matter, people like pour their hearts out to him. They tell him like stuff they've been working on in therapy for like 40 years. They're very certain this is their problem. And then Bill's like, oh, come on. Obviously, that's not what happened. Undoing the years of therapy.
I hope so.
And he does it so carelessly. Remember, he did this to Bella Thorne.
Yep.
Where she's like, I was raped. He's like, oh, please, let me guess. The guy came by and said you were pretty. Come on, you kids and your phone. And she's like, she had to go straight to the doctor. That's what Bill is great at. That's what makes this show so good.
It's amazing.
Now, the color grade's a little off. The color grade.
It does seem like he's brightened it a bit.
Well, it's weird. It's very fuzzy. It's very
grayed.
foggy and smoky. There's a big, thick screen over it, like a screen door.
If you're not, if you're not doing well, if you're not riding high, you're riding low. There's no middle in show
What about
business.
being an artist? What about, because that's how I viewed myself.
Well.
I was a theater artist. I went to theater school, and I was a theater artist, and I was making plays.
Imagine a man just going, no.
And
But I was a theater artist. No. Okay.
And he's just doing this to promote his book.
And Bill is not giving this any thought, by the way. He's just saying no and fairly certain that everything Rainn says is bull.
Well,
I was a theater artist. I went to theater school, and I was a theater artist, and I was making plays about the human condition.
yeah, but you really wanted to be on a hit show.
I didn't. I swear I didn't. Eventually, I was like, fuck, I'd love to pay off these student loans. I better get some TV gigs. Of course. I didn't have aspirations for stardom at all. I've looked this weird, ungainly.
But that's why you're happy, is because your life, you chose a...
I want them to quadruple student loans of anyone who has one. Have I ever told you that aspect of my politics? I want these kids so buried that they can't even get a fucking burger from McDonald's. I don't know why people care if others are financially cooked. Oh, I have all these student loans. Miserable.
Look,
No, it's not circumstantial, dude.
Who would know better, me or you?
I'll let the audience decide. Put it in your
That's a
YouTube.
good one to use. When you think so small of somebody, who would know better, me or you? Come on. That's what I think, too. I use that one all the time when I'm in an argument with somebody. Well, who would know better, me or you? You. And then we share ideas. Collab.
It's the Bill
Two
way.
comments.
Who would know better about you? Come on, me or you? Okay, but I just think maybe you're not...
When I was in the office, I spent several years really mostly unhappy because it wasn't enough.
Enough
And this
what?
is what I'm
Wasn't
looking
enough
at
for the
now,
mighty
and I'm
Dwight.
realizing now, like, I'm on a hit show, Emmy nominated every year, making lots of money working with like Steve Carell and Jenna Fisher and John Krasinski and
That's nothing.
these amazing writers and incredible directors like
BJ
Paul Feig.
Novak?
I'm on one of the great TV shows. People love it.
Right. All-time classic.
And I wasn't enjoying it. I was thinking about why I'm...
Because you're a loser freak. You were the freak. You were just Dwight. What's to enjoy? People were laughing at you in your big head. You were a nut. Okay? We weren't on your side. We were laughing at this psycho in the show. It was a fool's watch. You, Creed, Phyllis, what do you think? We like you? We're pretending that we like you because we like laughing at you. We're confused. You're William Hung. You're White Claw Gabe. Uncle Gabe. You're a laughing meme. And that's why you felt miserable. And I hope you feel miserable today when you watch this little video that you can't get over. From Redbar. Send it to him, guys.
am I not a movie star? Why am I not the next Jack Black or the next Will Ferrell? And how come I can't have a movie career? And why don't I have
how do you
this
say
development
this?
deal?
That's so honest.
And why don't...
That's so honest, and that's so what everybody, to a degree, in show business is.
Yeah.
Everybody who's not at the absolute tippity-toppity top of that tall ladder called stardom is like, yes, and you're like, wow, you're a terrific actor, and you're doing very well. You're not Brad Pitt? Okay, there was only going to make one of him. But
Okay, can I point one little thing out?
Very reasonable, yeah.
So Rainn is here to promote his book. He obviously has this... He's almost has a pre-prepared sermon that he does.
As most guests do
like you can
when
hear
they're
it.
doing interviews.
You can hear it in his voice when he's like, I was
He's
The
gearing
Office.
up to say all the stuff he
I
planned.
should be at my highest when I was on The Office.
He's practiced
but I
this.
was actually at my lowest because I wasn't spiritually fulfilled. Like
He's got a story, like a story you deliver to the morning news team.
Exactly.
On the Today Show, where you got to do all the talking. They're just sitting there smiling.
But we know Bill, and he knows Club Random.
Yeah.
And Club Random is a conversation. This is where I have a drink. And
Exactly.
Have a
It's not
conversation with
meant
you.
for really Rainn to talk about himself at all.
So this is almost a double feature of the Steiny situation. They're completely not on the same page.
Not on the same page at all. Rainn really...
He just wants to get out
He
his
wants
thing
to start
that he
pitching the
prepared.
book. He wants to start telling his long-winded stories, and he wants Bill to just sit there and buy it.
Very much, and you know, speaking of Succession, I always thought Logan Roy was a great example of the exact person you don't want to be.
Okay. The Succession talk.
So they kind of go in circles about how Rainn thinks, oh, you just have to have this spiritual journey to be happy. And Bill's take is, if you're an actor in Hollywood, just shut up and enjoy the money.
Yeah.
So you can go to 42 minutes now.
42 minutes even.
Yep.
Here we are. And, you know, this is just it's kind of some Rainn discovery. I think there's something there.
Yes.
I'd like to test the waters with Rainn on Instagram and his social accounts with the help of the guys. Just to kind of give him a light scare, see what he's nervous about, see what he's worried about, get his anxieties cooking. I like to cook these guys up to a high level of anxiety, which should be illegal to do if you know they have anxiety. And it should be illegal for me to do this to them. But you know what? You're showing me the buttons. You're giving me the access code. We're going to type it in. We're going to see what the buttons do. Now, Rainn, you could ignore all of it. And then, okay, we're pretty much done with you until we see you again. Or you could be one of my little, what do they call those probiotics floating around in my damn gut from all the products I'm taking? You could be one of my probiotic beans in my gut. And you could start making a little scene, just a small scene. Who the fuck is Red? I want to see you really go back to that dark place. When they've got these mental troubles, I like to mess with that. I don't know if that's legal to say. 1 year, that could be illegal one day. So I strike that from the record. I'm just joking around. These were all college style, college level pranks, pranks that are okay by the school. Okay, not college pranks where two kids get arrested and life in jail. College pranks where the school is okay with them, the parents are cool with it, everything's fine, there's nothing illegal. But I feel something in my gut. Yes, let's give him a little Redbar hello. Okay, let's see what he does.
Birth,
They've made great strides.
starvation, poverty.
Just a lot of the world lives somebody who was alive even 100 years ago looks like an incredibly cushy life with incredible conveniences, and as soon as we take them in, we take them for granted. And
But Thoreau says the massive men live lives of quiet desperation, and I think that's true.
Oh, no. A quote like that can get you shot around here. You rip off a quote like that? No. How long did that take to memorize? 6 weeks? That's disgusting. Quotes mean nothing, by the way. I hope you know that. Just because something is well written from a quote doesn't mean that's how you get out of a sticky situation, which you guys use it for. Oh, but here's a quote, so... Well, yes, I guess you're off the hook, because some other guy said something. Yeah, I got a quote, too. It's from Salvo Pancakes. Want to hear it? Jesus Christ, you faggots and your quotes.
And
But Thoreau says the massive men live lives of quiet desperation, and I think that's true, because I think that whether it's a middle-class life and you know, you're working a job and you're making...
Quiet desperation? That's what you think? So because it's literary, it's okay to do? With your fucking Google glasses? Those are thick. You look retarded. Well, Justin Thoreau told me that I'm allowed to be a faggot. No, the quote doesn't save you. Where's this shirt from? It ain't Filson. Where's this thin fucking cheap ass flannel from? You shop at Target? I want to stalk Dwight.
Well, wait till you see what he's done since this interview.
Oh, I can't wait.
out.
Okay, let's hear the rest of it.
Whether it's a middle class life and you know, you're working a job and you're making 60, 70 grand a year and you've got Domino's pizza on the table.
Right.
Like how many people living that life are truly like satisfied and content? Maybe some are. I'm sure some are. And how many people in these Hollywood hills that surround you?
Ooh, these
I won't
Hollywood-
give your address. Oh, I want to give it right now. I want to so that they beep it out. I want to do it so bad. But
Why do you want to do it? Why do you want to mess with him? You got a problem with Bill? Bill's being himself. He's having a good time. So look at that. Ooh, I want to give away your address. Bill's none the wiser. Bill's so high. Look at him. Wait, address? You're crazy. Keep talking. You're watching him as if it's The Office. You're just watching him and happily watching a show. And he's going, I want to give away your address. Why? Why were you thinking about that? Why do you want to? Oh my God, you see that? Ooh.
Fuck, stop.
Why do you want to give away his address, bro?
Oh, I want to give it right now. I want to so that
Why?
they beep it out. I want to do it so bad, but I'm not going to.
Come on.
How many people?
Do the trifecta. Come late, mispronounce my name, and give my address.
I was on
Hit
time.
the hat trick, baby.
I was on time, 5:35. I was 5 minutes late.
Oh my God, you admit late? 5 minutes late? You asshole. Cassandra, Wayne's World.
Bill has a schedule to stick to. What do you think? He just sits around doing nothing every minute of his
I know,
day is
he's
planned?
very busy.
You insane.
And you showed up 5 minutes late with Shoalboom?
The fuck, man?
Sorry I was late. I was printing out a copy of Shoalboom for you. I'm kind of doing this like Caroline Calloway style.
Bill's not on spiritual time. Sorry.
That's crazy. You admit 5 minutes late. That's pathetic. I've never been late to anything. That is seriously the most chuggy thing you could do, is to show up late. I mean, that is fucking pathetic. Really? Look at him.
How many people?
Do the trifecta. Come late, mispronounce my name, and give my address.
I was on
Hit
time.
the hat trick, baby.
I was on time, 5:35. I was 5 minutes late.
I'm just kidding.
Oh my God.
But you lied twice. I was on time. I was on time. I was 5 minutes late. So you tried to get away with the I was on time shit for a little bit.
5:35. I was 5 minutes late.
I'm just kidding.
Oh my God. I'm going to kick your ass.
Ooh.
No.
Wait, why?
Why?
Oh my God, I'm going to kick your ass. Why?
So there's this type of
So
guy.
you
This
are
is
mad.
almost like I didn't even realize this, but this is like a parallel between the Steiny and Andrew thing. These guys who have these giant egos, they must like plan how everybody is going to react to
Yes.
them in their head, and if
They
it
do.
doesn't go the way that they expect,
Yes,
they,
it
like,
throws them off.
They get pissed off, but there's no way to explain
it.
it because it's nonsensical. So they just have to go, I'm just.
Let's hear that death threat again.
I'm just kidding.
Oh my God. I'm going to kick your ass.
No.
I could kick your ass.
Ooh. Why? You practice, let me guess, karate like Dwight?
And both of these
Psycho.
times, it's a big, huge guy going after a small, innocent guy.
Small, innocent, nothing. First giant.
Monster.
And he really is lumbering like Andrew, all gas, no brakes, where he pushes a girl. He uses his size to kind of corner a girl. Andrew, what was his name? All gas, no brakes.
Yeah.
What is that fuck's name? He's so
wow,
disappeared.
he's forgotten
Wow, bro, you got
already.
canceled.
Holy shit.
I want to say Andrew
I can't
Schultz.
think of it. Andrew.
What the fuck?
It's
Solomon?
completely gone.
Andrew?
He's gone from the mind.
That's insane, bro. You got canceled. We can't think of his name. All gas, no brakes. Disgusting thing.
God.
Looked like Cher's it.
I'm not searching it. I got to just remember on my own.
Cher's mask.
Callahan, but someone reminded me in the
Andrew
chat.
Callahan.
I totally forgot.
Wow. We forgot about you. You're
Holy
sex guy.
shit.
And by the way, you ain't never coming back. We ain't letting you back. We're reminding everybody, person by person. Okay, so he wants to kick some ass.
Yeah,
Just admit it.
I'm sure you
I'm
could.
beefier.
You are.
You're willowy. You might be gainly, but you're also willowy.
It's funny. I have Chuck Liddell is the guest after you today.
Okay.
So I mean, I was thinking before I came over here. Well, if there's one guy I don't want to get in a fight with, and it turned out to be you.
It's me. Of the people living here in the Hollywood Hills and the people that you know, how many people live lives of grace and contentment?
Okay.
No, keep watching this.
Keep watching this. Okay.
With their lot.
Okay, but where did you read that you're promised grace and contentment
Thank you.
and pure happiness in life? That's not what life is. Life is a game, and if you win it, you're probably in a minority. And even if you do win it, you don't win it 12 to 1. You win it 7-5.
I see why you love the ending of Succession so much. You're like, life is a shit and then you die kind of.
Life is not. I'm not saying I'm saying life is good.
Yeah.
And even people who, I'm telling you, 100 years ago, people did not have lives as easy and good as we have them. We forget that.
And yet people are more unhappy than they've ever been.
How the fuck do you know?
Because you can look at suicide rates for Gen Z people. They've tripled in the last 20 years.
That's true.
Yeah,
the
mental health crisis is out of control right now.
That's true, but now we're talking about a different subject. We're talking about the advent of social media and smartphones, which is only about 12, 15 years old.
I don't know that 100% of this mental health.
Oh, that is all where that's
I think there's a big percentage, but could it be 30, 40%?
But of course it's tied in with the materialism, because what do what is Kylie Jenner selling?
Well, when climate anxiety and political division and disunity. Right.
And kids don't care about that shit. They pretend they do. They don't give a shit about the climate. They want to be on Kylie Jenner's private plane.
Hold on a second.
They want to own that plane. They do not give a shit about.
Bill, when you have a podcast, you need to ask your guests some questions and let them talk every once in a fucking while.
Stand up! He's had it, folks.
For what?
He's had it. So this was building up.
Why?
He let Bill go, and he's sitting there steaming until this happens.
Plane.
Hold on a second.
They want to own that plane. They do not give a shit about.
Bill, when you have a podcast, you need to ask your guests some questions and let them talk every once in a fucking while.
You've talked quite a bit, and this is not a kind of a podcast where I ask anybody questions.
It's not. Yes.
Bill didn't miss a beat, baby.
I love it.
He's not going to let that stop him.
This is not that kind of podcast. Wait, what did he say? It was even more ruthless than that.
Why was he...
Here.
But why? That's what I mean. It's like these ego guys. It's all in their own head what is going on.
It really is.
They were
just chill.
I mean, wasn't it starting to get boring there for a second? Because
they all think they're like owed this promotion. It's like, we're promoting your stupid book. You're not owed promotion.
I know. Just
you know what I mean?
Talk with Bill.
When you have a podcast, you need to ask your guests some questions and let them talk every once in a fucking while.
You've talked quite a bit, and this is
You've talked quite a bit.
And he did. Like, the whole 10 minutes.
You've talked quite a bit.
Was like, blah, blah, soul boom. We get it. You're a therapist. And you're not saying anything good.
It's not funny. It's not good. It's not helpful. It's pussy.
Bill owned you.
You've talked quite a bit. That would be embarrassing if someone said that to me.
Ask some questions and let them talk every once in a fucking while.
You've talked quite a bit, and this is not a kind of a podcast where I ask anybody questions. I don't. Is that how you conduct your personal?
Who said that life was where you go on a podcast and they ask you questions?
Yeah, that's why
life is.
No. You blew it.
Bill didn't even miss it.
You wanted to be interviewed, Mr. Special. Ooh. Imagine wanting to be asked questions. I mean, I can't think of anything worse. When people ask me questions, I want to kill myself.
I mean, seriously. That's like the worst.
So you
possible.
think you're so amazing that you should just be asked questions. What's it like to be you?
And what's the point of telling us about your depression and your therapy if you're not even going to tell us your worst moment?
Exactly.
That's the best part.
Paint the picture. Dwight
that life was where you go on a podcast and they ask you questions.
Yeah, that's why
life is going on a podcast and you got to fight to get a word in edgewise.
You don't have to fight. You haven't fought all night. You've had plenty of time to talk, and you have plenty of time now to talk. But this podcast is not like those other podcasts, which is why it's doing better.
It is
because it's actually interesting, and it's actually what I would really be doing with you, who I don't know.
I love it.
It's immature, man. Adults being immature is the best thing ever. I never thought they would act like this when I was a kid.
I just can't believe it.
And that's why it's doing better. Why? What drives people to be this mad where they say stupid shit like that?
Not only are you annoyed that you can't talk about yourself, but you're so overwhelmed with the annoyance that you have to have an outburst.
I love an outburst. And it was a real jerky outburst, too, when he's like, can anybody ever get a fuck? It's like he didn't. That's like when Joe says, America, fuck you. You didn't have the guts to really swear. Then don't use a swear. If you're going to use a swear, you got to act like you're about to end this man's life with the swear. You can't be like, what the fucking is fucking wrong with you? That's very gay. It's embarrassing. It's cringe. Don't swear if you can't swear.
Podcast is not like those other podcasts, which is why it's doing better.
It is
because it's
pretty
actually interesting, and it's actually what I would really be doing with you, who I don't know.
I love it. My son woke up one morning. I'm not kidding. He was 18 years old. I came in to the kitchen, and he was really distraught. His head was in his hands. I was like, Walter, what's going on? And this is absolutely true story. He goes,
Walter.
I just can't fucking believe it. And I was like, what? He goes, the Biden administration approved this pipeline in Alaska. Right. Like they just signed a Green New Deal a few months earlier, and now they've okayed this gas pipeline, and no one cares about it, and it's not even in the news.
This is his son.
Like, don't they even care about my generation? He was distraught. He was really seriously upset about it.
Say Ruth Conda forever.
Yeah, really. Your son is into fucking Biden?
I mean, this is like a fake. My 2-year-old kid just looked up at me and was like, Dad, why is Trump so mean?
Yeah.
Like, why would...
Well, listen to this. Bill's conservative.
That's what I mean. He's like stuck in the time period before people made fun of guys like this constantly.
Yeah, it's very strange. You don't see a guy like this much.
No.
Generation, he was distraught. He was really seriously upset about it.
Okay, he's the son of you. He's a kid who lives in LA. He's in this kind of world, this what the middle of the country would call the elitist coastal types. You know? So I understand. I don't think he's wrong. I think it's great that there are kids like that. And there are kids like that. It's probably 15, 20% of the kids. It's not most of the kids in the country. And trust me, I bet you if he was, give him a few years, he might be the kind of person who actually would fly on a private jet or would love to own one.
Well, to calm him down.
Have you ever on this kind of stuff?
Well, that's good. I like that. You thought your son represented all kids, talking about Biden at 9.
I just can't believe asking your kid to say something is like the oldest trick in the book.
Yeah.
Nobody's falling for that.
Nope.
Go to 5440.
5440. You never know what you're going to get on the Bill Maher Club Random show.
Just said, we give up.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he looked a lot like James Woods at that time. Well,
less pockmarked.
Anyway,
Pockmarked.
I found this to be very fascinating.
Oh.
I must say. I appreciate you rolling with all the...
So this is great. This is 54 minutes in, and I don't think Dwight has gotten a chance to really do his big speech yet, right? Like,
No.
you thought he was going to be able to do a little bit more. Bill's leaning in out of nowhere, 54 minutes in. He's like, well, this was great. Watch this. Dwight's a little shook by this, right?
I found this to be very fascinating, I must say. I appreciate you rolling with all the orneryisms that I have as a host.
Are you winding this up?
I have to because there's another guest here.
You double booked me?
I didn't. We always knew this. We tape these. We tape. You know, for like all TV shows do like this because. Not that this is a TV show.
Did you get like a flashing light that said second guest is here or something like that?
No. There's a clock right there.
Oh, look at that.
Right.
Oh, wow. I didn't even see it.
We did an hour, which is what we but
Bill, listen.
Oh, he didn't want to go. That's embarrassing.
You were asked to
You
leave.
didn't want to go? Bill's wrapping it up. You can't believe it. And you think he's lying to get you out of there? There's a clock right there.
Double booked me?
I didn't. We always knew this. We tape these. We tape, for like all TV shows do like this because not that this is a TV show.
Did you get like a flashing light that said second guest is here or something like that?
No. There's a clock right there.
Oh, look at that.
Right.
Gotcha.
So
Wow, I didn't even see
we
it.
did an hour, which is what.
You got to go.
But
Bill, listen, we may not see eye to eye at all on
Really?
anything. No, we do. I think politically we do.
I think we see eye to eye a lot.
Yeah.
Oh.
But I'm really not kissing your ass, but I just honor what you do. And
thank you.
You've been an inspiration.
Doing the Schultz.
You've made me
Same type of
chortle
thing, huh?
and,
Yeah.
You gotta get out of there.
and I
The
think
waitress thing. You fucked up all night. You barely came back. My food was bad. The burger was well done instead of medium. You didn't ask how it was. You were off talking to the other waitresses, laughing it up. I've been sitting here for 40 minutes after I'm done. You haven't come around to earn your dessert. You're not even trying. And then they finally come. Oh! And you're doing the same thing that Schultz just did? So they want to really clean it up. You made a mess, and you want to clean it all up last minute.
The parallels.
This is like throwing a house party, trashing the house, and then cleaning it up 10 minutes before your parents get home. It's not going to work. Not on me.
your ass, but I just honor what you do. And
honor,
you've
yeah,
been an
that-
inspiration.
You wanted him dead.
You've made me cachortle, and I think you're just engaged in like some of the most valuable
Chortle.
conversations
That's
going on
2008.
in our current
Well,
Western
I truly
civilization.
appreciate you saying
and
it.
I
really
truly
do.
mean it.
I could tell, and coming from you, it means a lot.
Yeah.
And one reason I wanted to do this podcast or a podcast
You can skip to
is because
57, 55 because they just do
Oh,
nice
wow. So
cities.
he tried to get him out of there. He's not leaving.
No, they won't stop.
He
with
conned
the
his
nice
way into a
cities.
few more minutes. Okay, so let's go to 57, 55, see what happens here. He told him to leave 5 minutes ago.
Being satisfaction and wholeness is possible and achievable and is something we can strive for. Peacock, you're not subscribing. Turn that around, America. Subscribe.
Wait, so he's got a
Wait,
show on Peacock. Yeah,
Maybe
maybe
you
I
should have
went
gone
back.
back farther.
Yeah.
Go to
So look
like
at this.
57,
Okay.
just in case I
So
don't want to
here
miss
he
anything.
is. So
good.
he's plugging. This is a little desperate. This was kind of like when Weird Al was on, and he admitted that nobody was signing up for what service was that? The Sling Box? No, what was it? He was on Weird Al's movie.
with an
Was
R.
locked into some service that nobody.
Roku.
Roku. The Roku streaming app only available for a Fire Stick. Okay, and it had to be bundled in software, so you had to get the Fire Stick Roku edition from Amazon on Prime Day. It was just a limited time thing. That's the only way you could watch Weird Al's movie. He learned that way too late. This is similar to that, where Rainn is going to start begging about his apparently his Peacock show, who would have thought, is not doing well. I don't think anything's doing well on Peacock.
No, it doesn't really seem
Nobody's
like
going to be
it.
doing Peacock. You can't just do Peacock. That's not what we're into. Let's hear
on
this.
film so
Right.
that other people can see it.
Yeah.
And I feel like I approximated it as well as you can under the conditions of a HBO talk show with senators and governors.
Yeah.
But it's not like this.
Sure.
This is like, to me, there's been no difference if there had been no cameras rolling. I would have said the exact same thing, and I think you would have just...
I was a little more self-conscious because there's cameras rolling, and I'm like, I'm on Bill Maher's show, and when is he gonna jump me ideologically? But I agree 100%, and I love that you didn't even ask, and you don't need to ask about my new show on
yes.
Peacock streaming service.
I told you,
called
you
Rainn
had
Wilson
to,
and the Geography of Bliss.
I have plugs too. See, I told
Streaming
you.
now on Peacock, where I travel the world looking for happiness because I,
that's a
unlike Bill,
bad
believe
show.
that happiness,
Right.
well-being, satisfaction, and wholeness is possible and achievable and is something we can strive for. Peacock, you're not subscribing. Turn that around, America. Subscribe to the old Peacock. Watch Office reruns.
That's bad. You're not subscribing, America. Let's turn that around.
And I watched the trailer for the show. It looks awful.
It's terrible.
Just like one of those trailers.
Dwight looking on a boat. It's just seen him looking off the coast on a boat.
And it's like, oh, you're really fine.
Oh, I'd love to see you travel. Could you imagine watching a guy like that? We're watching Pia Mockenbach and Vados Kane. We ain't watching you travel. I'm going to Paros with them. No one wants to watch you get off a boat and ask a bunch of silly questions.
I mean, you're out of your
Turn
mind.
that around, America. Subscribe to the old Peacock. Watch Office reruns, which old Bill here loves. And check out the new Rainn Wilson streaming show. Bill, what do you got? You're playing, Chuckles Comedy Casino and Bismarck, North Carolina.
Shitting on his gigs.
April 22nd.
This is a tantrum, last minute tantrum.
You're lucky Bill's so kind-hearted.
Yeah, you're lucky Bill's in a
he's so
great
high
mood.
right now.
He's very high. He thinks this is funny. Look at this monster.
You come into Bill's home and act like this? I just can't believe it.
I can't believe it.
What do you got? What do you got?
Okay. But I did warn you I was going to forget.
I know.
You did a
The
great job.
producers
of
warned
it.
me. It's like,
Bill is
Get out of here.
Yeah.
whatever you got, you've got to do it yourself.
But the Peacock show is on already?
Yeah,
or
it's now. It's just out for a week and a half. Yeah.
Okay.
The Geography of Bliss.
So you're going around the world.
Yes.
Like, where's a place that's
So now he
blissful?
feels like he's got to ask him about it. Okay. Anything else here?
Go to 5920. I feel like when they get up, it's
5920. Yeah, there's a little mishap here, I think. Let's
Fucking
see.
cold.
It is.
Well, I will not be in Iceland. I'll August 19th to be at the Ovens Auditorium in Charlotte, North Carolina. Oh, I love Charlotte. August 20th at the Township Auditorium in Columbia, South Carolina. I love the way they put the Carolinas together
Oh, that's so
on
nice.
these swings.
Why isn't there one Carolina? Do we really need
Why
more
isn't-
than a
Get
South?
out of here.
Actually, you could make the case for the Carolinas. Why are there two Dakotas?
There should not be two Dakotas.
Totally. I'm not sure there should be one.
Also, why Delaware? Give me a break.
Yes.
Who the hell?
Right.
Get up.
Right.
He's got
Maryland and
another
Delaware.
desk.
Just make it Melloware.
All right. Thank you.
Oh, he's
Bye,
had
Bill.
it.
Thanks. Are we going? Are we hugging? What's happening? I don't know what's happening.
Oh, look at that hug.
Thanks for having me. This was fun,
Thanks for
man.
being had.
Very good. Another excellent episode.
You can't say it's not real.
It is real time.
No, that's the other one.
And Bill's none the wiser once
right.
again.
All right, we'll take a break. We'll be right back.
He did do some spastic posts after this aired, if you're interested in
That's
that.
right. What did he do?
He tweeted and posted on Instagram.
Oh, my God. Let's see this. This one here? Rainn
Yes.
Wilson. Whoa. Rainn Wilson miserable on the set of The Office. So reads dozens of clickbait headlines over the last 2 days. On Bill Maher's pod, I talked about mental health and the struggle for happiness and balance. Discussed being at height of success on The Office and how I still was unhappy that I wasn't a bigger star. This is the human condition, after all. The press took a nuanced convo and made me seem like an ungrateful asshole. Reality of the modern media. It's all for the clicks, baby. Wow, I had no idea he was doing this. He's bitchy.
Yep. And he couldn't just tweet, of course.
Okay, there's another thing. Rainn's tweet. What's this? Okay, that's the one we just saw. Rainn's IG post. Oh my God! We've got a video announcement from Rainn Wilson. So he took the same text, he put it on IG, he's got a statement for us.
Yep.
Oh, this is exciting. I don't think I've seen this. Here we go.
On front page news, folks, clickbait alert. Listen to this.
Oh.
Rainn Wilson feels he was mostly unhappy filming The Office, felt he missed out on millions. Rainn Wilson spent years on The Office wondering why he wasn't
Why are you
a
reading in that
movie star.
tone?
People magazine, The Office says, Star says he spent several years really mostly unhappy.
Yeah, you
Rainn
did.
Wilson was unhappy playing Dwight on The
You
Office.
said that.
Yes, that's what you said.
Clickbait.
What the fuck?
Fast. The more you click, the more ads show, and our mainstream media machine moves forward on its ad revenue. Must have been a slow news day, folks.
What the fuck?
What happened is, in the promotion of my new book, Soul Boom, Why We Need a Spiritual Revolution, I was talking about my mental health struggles and struggles with happiness throughout my life. I also have a show on Peacock called Rainn Wilson and the Geography of Bliss that explores happiness and the seeking and pursuing of it. And I illuminated this point to make a point about the human condition, that even at the height of my fame, playing a memorable TV character, a beloved character on an amazing show with an incredible cast and amazing writers, Emmy nominations, lots of money, beyond my wildest dreams for this weird suburban Seattle kid, even then I felt like I was missing out and I wish I had more and I was unsatisfied.
That's what they said.
Those years. A lot of movies that I did bombed. I've talked about this before, The Rocker and a few others.
Wow.
Super. And I illuminated this point to make a point about the human condition. You know, this is kind of what we do, us human beings.
More of a soul boom cell.
And I want to talk about how happiness is simply found with where you are. And it's a decision to be made.
Well, say your point now.
Yeah.
So amazing.
And of course, the mainstream media took these 3 or 4 sentences and ran
Roseanne over here.
Trying to hungrily get all of your clicks.
Is that what I'm doing?
To profit off of my pain and despair and outrage. What? How could this guy who's making millions of dollars not be happy with where he's at? Ugh, Hollywood.
I assumed you made $250,000 for the whole fucking thing, and you've spent it all. No one thinks you have millions.
Steve Will Do It has more money.
Yeah. You have very little money.
Elite asshole.
Oh.
So this is what it's like some days.
Oh.
But I hope a larger point was made, which is that we're all on a search for deeper well-being. And
he's bad.
Right in front of us. Every single one of us.
Right in front of us?
Thanks.
You seem really happy today.
Oh, he did the millennial turnoff. Holy shit, Rainn Wilson, huh? Had no idea. Get on that Instagram. Let's see what else we can make him video-wise. Okay, we'll take a break. We'll be right back. Redbar. Okay? See you soon.
Watching TV time.